Okay, good evening. We don't have the printouts today, but if you would like, I can send you the notes after the class to have, but I'm sure your notes will be just as good. So we have today a very, very exciting topic. No, it's okay. Very exciting topic. The topic that we chose to talk about was the topic of music. And I think it's something that everyone can relate to, something that everyone finds interest in, something that is dear to everyone's heart. Yes? Okay, good. You ever noticed that you're always playing a song in your head? And if you're not, and you're waiting online or you're in the car and there's a red light, what are you doing? You're humming or you're doing a beat with your hands, right? There's always music around our life, whether we notice it or not. Whether we play it ourselves, humming it, singing it, there's always, music around our life. Some of the questions we're going to tackle today is, how does music affect us positively and negatively? How does music heal us? Is music therapeutic? How does music affect children? Does music affect a woman who's pregnant and the child is inside? What type of music to listen to? Does it matter who sings the song, who composed the song? Does it matter what instruments he's playing or she's playing? Why can't men listen to a woman sing? What if you take a song that was created by a non-Jewish person, but you take the song and you put Jewish lyrics to it? So the beat is a non-Jewish beat, or it's a beat that was taken by a non-Jewish person, and the lyrics are Jewish. Does that make a difference? Does that matter? Does that have any effect to ourselves? What's the source of music? Where does music come from? Who started this concept of song and music? What else? Can you change a person's mind with music? And finally, what kind of music can calm a crying baby down? Right? Your baby is crying, or lullabies, you want to put a baby to sleep. What kind of music can calm a baby down? These are some questions we're going to tackle today, Be'ezrat Hashem. Okay, let us begin. The sources that we're going to take this information from is from, of course, the one who is the biggest advocator for music and the service of Hashem for music is Rav Nachman of Breslov, the Baal Tanya, who wrote a lot of songs himself, the Baal Shem Tov, and a lot of Hasidic rabbis, because Hasidim, they took music and they saw fit how it can create a relationship with us and Hashem. This by Hasidim is very big. You won't see that so much by the Litvaks, but by the Hasidim tremendously. Another question that I have for you is, what was the avodah of the Kohanim in the Beit HaMikdash? What were Kohanim busy with in the Beit HaMikdash? Go ahead.
The work of the Beit HaMikdash.
What do they do?
That was a Levium.
The Kohanim. Kohanim, what did the Kohanim do? How did they serve Hashem? They sacrificed. They killed animals. How about the Leviim? What were they doing? They sang. Minimum, how many Leviim had to be there? No less than 12. It can be hundreds. In order to get in, for a Levi to get in, to be in the singing team, he had to take 5 years training. You know that? 5 years training for a Levi to be placed on the team to sing in the Beit HaMikdash. You can't have less than 12 Levi'im sing in the Beit HaMikdash. That's a fun fact to know. Now, I have a simple question. Kohanim are sitting and slaughtering animals. They're dealing with blood. They're doing ketoret, ashes, sprinkling of the red heifer. And the Levi, he's singing. He's playing instruments. What's the connection? What's the connection between slaughtering animals and singing songs? And it had to be done at the same time.
Service to Hashem.
What's the how do we put the two together?
Simcha.
You kill an animal, you should be.
No, so as they're listening to the music, they're
Yeah.
like, we love Hashem.
Good.
So, and they're like, they're doing it in happiness. I don't know, I'm just trying to answer, guys.
Good try. Okay, let's begin. So, you have to know, if you go to, you go to Europe, you go to Canada, you go to Mexico, you go to France, everyone has a certain style of music. Salsa, you have tango. Tango is a style of music or it's a dance?
I think it's dance.
It's a dance. Okay, so there's a song you listen to while you do tango, no? Okay, salsa.
It's a dance.
Salsa is a dance too. What's going on? My research is incorrect. Okay, so every country has its own music. Jazz, you have classical, you have hip hop, you have pop, you have rap, you have what else? Country, you have rock, you have Mishugayim music, right? You have, this is the type of music you have. You know why every country has its music? Like some people, they don't like jazz. Like jazz is pretty, depends on the country you're in because every country has a different angel. Every angel has a certain song that it is in charge of or it likes. For example, listen to this example. Yaakov Avinu is fighting the angel, right? And it's getting dawn. Dawn, right? They fought dawn, and it's about to be sunrise. And that's a Hama. They fought for a long time. And what does the angel do? Let go of me. Let go of me. I have to go up. Where do you have to go? I have to go up to Hashem. I have to sing him shirah. I have to sing him songs. What? You have to sing him songs? Yeah, I have to sing him songs. Why do you have to sing him songs? Because I have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Now it's my turn to sing him a song. So every angel, every country has an angel in charge of it. And every angel has a certain song. So that's why, this country likes jazz, this country more classical, this country is more, you have the Kushim, they like the rap, they like the hip-hop, right? So every country has its own genre of music that they like. And it affects them in different ways. So every angel is controlled by each angel of theirs. Now, what name did the angel bless Yaakov with? Yisrael. You know Yisrael, if you take it and you split the name Yisrael, Shira El, which means to sing to Hashem. So he gave Yaakov the power to sing to Hashem. What does that mean? Our nation is very into music. All of our prayers in Shaharit is music. Pisukei de Zimra. What is Pisukei de Zimra? Pisukim. What's Pisukim? Sentences, right? The Zimra, Zmirot, comes from the word Zmirot. You know what else the Zimra stands for? Zamer. Mizamer, what does it mean? To cut. To cut. Because at that moment when you sing Pisukei de Zimra, you're cutting what? The pipeline of the Satan to prosecute against you for your prayer not to be answered. The angel gave a secret to Yaakov Avinu. He said, look, you defeated me. I'll bless you. Israel. Shira El. Your essence of Israel is to sing to Hashem. Where else do we know this from? Hiskiyahu HaMelech. Hiskiyahu HaMelech was the king of Am Yisrael. He was one of the big kings, top kings. The Gemara tells us, Masechet Sanhedrin, he was supposed to be Mashiach. Why did he get this privilege taken away from him? Because he did not sing to Hashem. He had an opportunity to sing. When did he have the opportunity to sing to Hashem? He had a shita. He had a ruling. He had a lifestyle. That when the enemy came to fight Am Yisrael, he told everyone. He told all the Jewish people and the Jewish children to go inside to the Bet Midrash and learn Torah. And not come out of the Bet Midrash. Don't come out, he says. Don't come out. Whatever you do, don't come out. What do you mean? We have to do our ishtadlus. We have to fight war. No, our ishtadlut is to say and learn and to pray. What happens? Comes the night. Comes a few angels. They start to sing. And all the soldiers They fall asleep and they die. There were thousands of soldiers. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of soldiers. How did they die? Through singing to Hashem. Hiskiyahu Melech at that moment, if he would have said Mizmor Letodah, if he would have sang to Hashem, he would have been appointed Mashiach. Because he did not sing to Hashem an opportunity, the time that he was supposed to sing, he lost the status of Mashiach. You know where else we get the power of music from? We just had the holiday of Purim. Yeah. Fun holiday, amazing holiday, powerful holiday. Achashverosh, he made a party. How long? For 180 days. What was at this party? Everything. Anything and everything. Top kashrut of food. He had the best desserts. He had the best everything. It was just top notch. Except for one thing.
Music.
There was no music. Why not?
Because that would bring them back under there.
Why?
Because the music doesn't win you the soul.
You just guessed?
Yeah.
You guessed correct. The Purim was what period of time? In between. In between the first and the second. So it was in the middle. It was the 70 years, right? The first temple was destroyed. 70 years later, the second temple had to be rebuilt. So what did Achashverosh do? He comes out with all of his utensils of the Beit HaMikdash. He dressed up as a Kohen Gadol, right? It was Purim for him too. He dressed up like the Kohen Gadol, right? And he had the utensils of the Beit HaMikdash. He did not play music. He did not want to remind the Jewish people of music that they heard, they were used to hearing from the Leviim in the Beit HaMikdash. Why? Because you said it. It would have gotten them back on the derech. Now, you say, Rabbi, why didn't he play rock music? Why didn't he play dirty music? Because he wanted to make a kosher party. That's how he wanted to fool the people. If they would have heard Nicki Minaj over there, Lady Gaga, they would have ran away. They would have ran away. So he said, if I play kosher music and let them enjoy, what's going to happen? They're going to get on the derech. They're going to leave my party. Why? Because music touches something very, very, very special. What is it? Your neshama. When you listen to music, you want to dance. You hum. You move a little bit. You have to know it's not physical. Music is not physical. It's all spiritual. How do we know it? Where do we learn this from? The Zohar Kadosh says, where does music come from? The fifth dimension. What does that mean? It comes from Olam Ha'atzilut. Atzilut is the highest realm that exists in the world. That's where Hashem is, that's where Hashem, well, he's in Ein Sof, he's higher, but that's where all our nishamot come from. And Adam HaRishon, when he was expelled from Gan Eden, what did Hashem allow him to take one thing. Hashem says, Adam, good old friend, it was nice having you here for a couple of hours. I have to expel you from Gan Eden. But you can take one thing. Take whatever you want. So what did Adam take? Midrash Shel Kuchimoni and Pirkei the Rabbi Eliezer says he took music. It's interesting because Adam gave life to King David. 70 years. King David was the Ani Tfilah. I am prayer. I am music. He was the epitome of songs, psalms, 150 chapters of songs to Hashem. That's what the Tehillim is all about. Where did King David get this quality trait of music? From Adam. Because he gave life. Who gave life to Adam? To King David? Adam. What did Adam take? One thing from Gan Eden. He took music. Now, if you thought that was nice, listen to this. This is the experience after the whole experience that Adam had with the snake. Yes or no? Adam had a whole experience with the snake. The snake tricked Adam and Hava. And what happens to Adam? He gets expelled because of this. What was the snake's? How do we say the snake in Hebrew? Nachash. Do me a favor. I want you to write Nachash in your papers. Nun, Het, Shin. Nachash. Now, Nun, Het, Shin. This Nachash, Adam and Rishon understood, you know what? Hashem gives me permission to take something from Gan Eden. Adam was a smart man. He was created in the image of God, mamish. He was not born to any woman or man. God, with his own hands, Kiviyachol made him. So Adam understood that, you know what? I messed up because I listened to the Nachash. So I need to do something. I need to take something from Gan Eden that to help my brothers and sisters out, that's going to subdue the Nachash. So he took what? Music. So now take this word Nachash. And now what do we want to do to Nachash? Do you want to lift him or we want to bring him down?
Bring him down.
We want to bring him down. So we're going to take each letter of the Nachash, we're going to go one letter low. So Nun, one letter lower than Nun is?
Like
Mem. Closer to, meaning dropping. Nun is higher than Mem. Mem. Okay, Het is one letter lower. The Het is Zayin. And Shin is Resh. What does it spell? Zemer. What does Zemer mean? Song. Adam Arishon. You heard it here first. Don't start taking credit for it. Adam Arishon. Adam Arishon. He took music. He took songs. Zmirot. Zemer. Because he understood, I messed up. I got kicked out because of the Nachash. I need to make sure my brothers and sisters, we hook them up with something. That they're not going to fall into the trap of Nachash. What is it? Music. Zemer, Zmirot, songs. Now how does songs help us fight away the Yetzer Hara? It's very simple. There's good entities in the world, there's bad entities in the world. And by the way, I saw today, in your honor, another midrash that says that when Moshe Rabbeinu, Targum Simcha, Targum Simcha brought from the Sefer called Pirsume Nisa, page 79, tells us that Moshe Rabbeinu, when he was up in heaven 40 days, 40 nights, he saw everything. Also in the Sefer Manot Levi, okay, he was there 40 days, 40 nights. And what is he? And Hashem gives him the Torah as a gift. But Hashem also told Moshe, you can bring something down with yourself. So what does Moshe bring down? He brings several things. Every angel taught Moshe something. Pituma Ketoret, we know the Malach HaMavet gave that to the Moshe Rabbeinu. Every angel gave Moshe something. You know how when we say Refuah Shlema to someone, right? What do we say? El Narafan Na. This Nun Aleph, right? This Na is also from one of the angels. One of the angels, they taught Moshe that if someone is sick and you want to heal them, you say El Narafan La Na. Right? Okay. So Moshe Rabbeinu had a choice, had a opportunity to take something from heaven. And you know what he took? I read today beautifully, he also took the power of music. Because he understood the power of music is very, very, very intertwined with our spirituality, with our nishamot. So there's again good forces in the world, there's bad forces in the world. The good forces is the good angels. The bad forces is the Samech Mem. Right? Samu, after that, El. He has two wives. One of his wives, her name is, we spoke about this in the previous class, Lily. I can't say her name fully, so I'm going to say Lily. And then you have another name, which we're allowed to say her name. Her name is Machlat, who is also, by the way, the wife of Ishmael. Ishmael had a wife, her name was Machlat. So she was the daughter of Esav. Yitzchak Avinu told Ishmael, you can do whatever you want, just don't marry Abraham Avinu. Right? Yitzchak Avinu told Esav, whatever you do, don't marry No, I'm wrong. Esav married Machlat, who was the daughter of Ishmael. That's what I said? Good. That's what I said. No, I said the opposite. Okay, that's what I meant. Esav married the daughter of Ishmael. Machlat, her name was. Yitzchak Avinu told Esav, marry whoever you want, just don't marry the daughters of Ishmael. Don't put Esav and Ishmael together. And that's where all the problems start. Okay, so Machlat is another name of the Satan's wife. How many of us here, you don't have to raise your hand, are more into sad music, slow music that make you cry, those type of music. You'd rather have a nice good cry than a nice good laugh. You have people like that, right? You want to be so sad. That's definitely good. You like a song that is meaning. Daddy come home. I don't know. Stay with me. And something that's gonna make you cry. My oldest daughter, when she hears that song, she starts to cry. She doesn't understand the words, right? Maybe daddy come home. Why children are so into music? They don't know the words. My son, he loves a certain song. He doesn't know what it means. Because songs it touches your neshama. Because your neshama comes from Atzilut. Songs come from Atzilut. Adam HaRishon took music from Gan Eden. Moshe Rabbeinu took music from Gan Eden. King David composed music all his life because he was 70 years of Adam. Achashverosh did not play music in his party because he understood once Jewish people are going to listen to music, they're going to connect back to their neshamas and they're going to do teshuvah. Because music was from the Beit HaMikdash. And every song we have today, you should know, comes from where? From the Levi'im. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Yeah, how many notes are there? 7. 7 notes. Da, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, da, eli, do. Do. Do is 8, but do is a combination of 2. So really there are 7 notes. These 7 notes are very Kabbalistic. They come from the 7 weekdays. And all the Levi'im, when they sang song in the Beit HaMikdash, you have to know, all of our music today, you listen to Shweki, Mordechai Shapiro, Benny Friedman, who else is there? Simcha Leiner, who else? Ishai Ribo, Hanan Ben Ari, all the good guys, yeah? Their music that get you so excited, they get you a little sad too, in a good way. They get you serious, they get you happy. All their notes, they're sparks from the Levi'im that sang in the Beit HaMikdash. Once the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, you know what happened? Power of song, it was shattered. Like, remember I gave you the example, you have a beautiful vase, and you break it? Vase, thank you. Vase. You have a beautiful vase, depends what part of New York, Queens you come from, yeah? Or New York. In Brooklyn, they say... Rego Park. So you have a beautiful vase or vase, and what happens to it? It breaks into small pieces, and they go scattered around the whole house. Song, they scattered around all over the world. All over the world, music scattered around. And the sparks of music fell into good songs. And sometimes even bad songs. So that's why the Baal Shem Tov tells us that whenever you have a song that was a non-Jewish song, and a Jewish person took the beat and changed the words, it's very good. I thought it was always bad. It's very good. I always thought it was bad. It's very good. I always thought it was bad. I used to tell my wife, I don't like this song. She says, why? I said, it reminds me of, back in the day. The rap days, the hip-hop days. And I don't want to reminisce. But today, in your honor, I learned the Baal Shem Tov says, no, it's good. It's fixing that. It's fixing that song that now left a bad imprint into the world. It's fixing it and bringing it to the good side. Why? Because every song comes from the Levi'im. And they have good to it. It's just our job now to take it and to make it good. So if you find yourself to be very musical, you write music, you play music, I advise you, from the words of the Baal Shem Tov, you take Goyish song.
But maybe the Baal Shem Tov said this in his time where the music wasn't like today.
Right now music is like disgusting.
So I'll tell you, the Gemara says that there was a man by the name of Elisha ben Avuya, Acher, the rabbi of the Rav Meir Balanes. Elisha ben Avuya, he went off the derech. He was a great man. He was tremendous. His brain was, wow, tremendous. He was the rabbi of Rav Meir Balanes, not a simple person. He went off the derech. The Gemara lists several things what could have happened while he left from the derech. One of the main things the Gemara in 2 places says is that Greek music did not leave his lips. Means to say, he was into, Rabbi, it's classical, it's rich music. If you understand it, you know what it means, right? All the nonsense. Greek music did not leave his lips. So we see, the Gemara tells us that non-Jewish music back then had such a power, which got such a rabbi, Elisha ben Avuya, to go off the derech. Why? Why did he go off the derech? Because he did not stop listening to Greek music. Did not stop playing Greek music. He kept humming it. Sometimes you find yourself, you go to the mall. You should not go to the mall. Buy stuff online, You go to the mall. You don't have? So I can tell you 2 people, 3 people, how many people you have here? That have accounts, they can share it with you. And they all have Prime probably.
It's not as fun when you go to the store.
Thank you, I'm gonna say that.
So you go to the store. So maybe you're right. Maybe men should not go to the store.
Thanks.
You go to the store and they're playing a song. You know what's disturbing? I'll tell you. I'm going to be open with you. When you go to Jewish restaurants and they play non-Jewish music, it's very disturbing because it does everything opposite. You're trying to have a good kosher meal, feed yourself with spirituality, and then you're listening to Taylor Swift. She's swifting you away, right? So So you find yourself sometimes humming this song. Sometimes you find yourself humming this song. So you know what the Baal Shem Tov says? You take that opportunity and you do a mitzvah right away. That's how you fix all those times that you were listening to not good music, not Jewish music. Rabbi, what is she talking about? She's talking about positive things, service of God. She's talking about sometimes friends are not your friends. What does he talk about? Sometimes he's not loyal. She's saying the emes. What is she saying wrong? So I'll tell you, it's very dangerous to listen to those type of music. It's very, very dangerous. You know why? They come from the source of Lily and Machlat. Let's go back. Lily, she's in charge of depression. Whenever you feel depressed, you know why you feel depressed? Who's hovering over you? Lily. The wife of the Satan, Lily. She's hovering over you. Whenever you feel sad, you want to cry, or any music that's attached to that, it's in control of Lily. Whenever you feel very lightheaded, very excited but not in the right way, very lightheaded, taking a holy matter and making it into a joke, this is in charge. Who's in charge? A lady by the name of Machlat, which is also the wife of the Satan. These two ladies are in charge of these two genres of music. So whenever we take a genre of music that's sad and slow, but we listen to it in a kosher way, by a kosher artist, and proper instruments, what happens? We fix that which we used to do in the non-proper way. And so too goes with lightheadedness. When you listen to a very exciting and jumpy and happy song, and you're listening to it, and you used to listen to a jolly music not in the proper way, by listening to it in the proper way, you're fixing all those times where it was doing it and when you were doing it inappropriately. Yes?
I have a question. Let's say music, let's say to me it's not a challenge as much, or any other mitzvah but music. Music is just something that when you were a kid, it's something you connected to. And let's say as a kid, this is what you were introduced to, all these non-Jewish music, so it's very hard. So also music is not just anything, especially for me, I realize music is something very deep. It's something that connects you, the words, the sound, everything. How do you fully listen to Jewish music? I feel like it's such a challenge.
Music is deep. We said music is not physical, it's spiritual. Music comes from the fifth dimension, which is Olam HaAtzilut. Music is not a simple thing. Music, you know why children, they fall asleep to lullabies. And children love music. They don't understand a word that they're saying, but they love music. They understand to like it or to dance to it. Why? Because it's the closest thing to what they remember when they were in their mother's wombs. Why? Chachmei Kabbalah say, Rav Nachman tells us that when they were in their mother's wombs, they were learning Torah, but how? In a very musical way. And the Gemara says, how should a person learn Torah? In a musical way. If you ever go to yeshiva, and you see you have 200-300 guys learning Torah, they're learning Gemara in a very musical way. Why? One, it helps you remember. Two, it's in your subconscious, which is what you remember in your mother's tummy. And all day in heaven, when there's angels around, what are they doing? They're singing songs to Hashem. That's why the angel that fought Yaakov Avinu, he says, let go of me. I need to go and sing song to Hashem. It's my turn to sing. Because all they do is sing songs. What kind of songs do they sing? The songs that we sing here. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he leaves the sea splits, what does he do? Az Yashir Moshe, he sang. Miriam, she sings. They take out instruments, they sing. They start to sing. Why are they singing? Because they're tapping into to the root of their soul, which is music. Now you're right.
If someone listens to non-Jewish music, it's something that's missing there spiritually?
No, it's not that it's missing. You're not missing spiritually. You're spiritually there. What's happening is that you're causing the Wi-Fi level very low. And it's affecting you in a negative way. Everything that you have in your life that's affecting you in a negative way, a lot has to do with what you listen to, of the music that you listen to. I'll tell you why and how it works. I remember as a teenager, I used to go with my friends to the movie theaters. We used to watch Fast and the Furious, for example. Racing. The moment the movie finished, we got into our cars. What do you think we did?
Race.
We tried to emulate everything we saw. Why? Because that movie, the main focus was that. It left an imprint on us, and now we want to resemble it. Music, it's so important who the author is, artist is, who's writing the song, what his intentions are. If he's a dirty person, and his kavanah is, he's depressed, because she broke up with him, and that's what he's writing, she left me, she doesn't love me, what happens to you? You start to feel that. That energy, which is the most energy, which is music, that's why song should be sang on Shabbat. Shabbat is the highest dimension. And you connect the highest dimension with the highest thing, which is music. It's the highest of the highest. So when you connect to it in a wrong way, when you connect to it in the right way, you can have tremendous, tremendous positivity. You can heal yourself. You can heal from anxiety, from depression, certain sicknesses. Music can really, if you have the proper kavanah, you listen to the proper artist, and you channel your thoughts the right way, it can be very, very positive in many ways. But if you don't, and you listen to improper artists, again, the song can be good. Nothing wrong with the song. Singing about, current events. But the artist himself or herself, she's dirty, or he's dirty, or they're under the influence, which they all are. Which they all are. And if you take any hip-hop or rap song, what do they talk about? Money, and drugs, and breakups, and killing, and jealousy, and anger, and that's what it is. He wrote a diss track on him, she wrote a diss track on her, and it's all just negativity. And they put into the song. And you listen to it. And what happens automatically? You feel it. You feel it. So a lot of your downfall you feel spiritually. And it's hard to connect to Hashem. In the Chachamei Kabbalah, they say that one of the most things that refrain us from feeling that Wi-Fi with Hashem is music. Because that's what we're affected with. That's what we're humming. That's what's on our head. We're always thinking of a song. We don't realize it. But now, after today, you're going to get into your car, you're going to realize, wow, I'm always singing something. You're cleaning, you're washing dishes, you're always singing something. You sing yourself to sleep. You don't realize subconsciously that's what's happening. Why? Because music affects the deep root. Babies, they remember from heaven songs. So that's why when you sing a lullaby to a child, it falls asleep. Why does it fall asleep? Because when you sleep, your neshama leaves you. The baby wants to experience that again. It's easy to put her to sleep. It wants to experience that again. You know, the Rabbi Yitzchak Aminov of Izmir, he writes that a person who's very tired during the day is always tired. She's always tired, just always tired. They had good amount of sleep, they're just always tired. It's a sign that the person's neshama doesn't want to be around him.
What does that mean?
What that means is your neshama comes from where? And it always wants to be there. You know, the Gemara says that Hashem has to force our soul to come into us when we're sleeping. To wake up in the morning. That's why when you wake up, it's a little gloomy. That's why when you wake up right away, you feel a little whoa, right? Like you're about to fall. Why? Because neshama falls in stages. Because it doesn't want to be here. Now, if you're behaving and you say Kriyat Shema Lamita, it comes down and it doesn't mind being in your body because you are experiencing positivity. But if you're not, your neshama doesn't want to be here. It wants to stay upstairs.
I Shema the night before.
Were you here for that class?
I was, but let's say it's really hard for you to remember. Like it's just a struggle.
You know, I know a lot of people, they have iPhones. And iPhones are very famous for alarm reminders. I mean it in the nicest way. I don't mean to... But Shema is powerful. It's powerful. It's big. When you know that this medicine will help you heal certain things, you make sure to take it. This is how spirituality has to be. You know, I was having a class last night with my boys. We were talking about a topic. It's an interesting topic. Advertisement. What's the purpose of advertisement?
To buy something or
To divert your attention to this thing, right? Whenever you get a text message on the phone, wherever you are, no matter who you're speaking to, what happens?
Check your phone.
You check your phone. And you stop everything that you're doing. That person doesn't exist for you for those 5-6 seconds. And if it's a bigger or longer conversation, if it's someone that you want to text you.
Sit there making a decision with them. We were learning this in summer now. Let's say you're talking to someone and someone calls you. Within those seconds, you're making a decision between talking to that person who's in front of you or answering your phone.
90% of the time what happens? She wins. This guy wins. 90%. Someone told me yesterday, Rabbi, not when I talk to my parents, Beseder. Some people say, Rabbi, now when I talk to my wife, kol hakavod, amazing husband you are. Right? But even that, on dates, what do you see? This phone knows how to get our attention so well. The world stops and we're focused on this. Imagine we use that same way with spirituality and a connection to Hashem. That no matter what, while I'm with you, Hashem, that's all I'm doing. While I'm with you, you have my full attention. Just like my phone has my full attention. And anyone and anything else that's in front of me, I ignore you. Parents, husband, wife, on a date, ignore. This is more important for that 5, 6, 7, 10 seconds. Imagine we took that and channeled it to spirituality. Just like this medicine is so helpful for you. You're going to make sure you never miss it. You're always going to take it. Spiritual concepts have to be the same way. So you're right. It's hard to stop. Music is something that's so rooted and so we're so connected to. Automatically, Rabbi, you're telling me now I have to stop with this? No. Never. That's never the yes, but not that. Not cold turkey. So how do you do it? The way to do it is gradually. How gradually? Mondays, I only listen to Jewish music. Fridays, I only listen to Jewish music. And every week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, every month, you add another day and another. And you'll see, by listening to good music, it's like a mikvah. It's going to start to overpower the bad. Again, Nachash, the snake, which is the most evil in the world. He's attached to zemer, song. That's when zemer, song, is used in the not right way. But when you use zemer, zmirot, song, in the right way, you attach music to the good side. And now you start to feel different. You act different. You think different. Now then you'll feel why your Wi-Fi bars all along was so low. Now they're so much better. Now you have 5G LTE. And you're like, wow. And my connection to you, Hashem, is unbelievable because of the songs and the music. Because they're so connected to us. Because they come. Again, in the Beit HaMikdash, again, we asked the question, why in the Beit HaMikdash they sang songs while they were cutting up animals? What's the connection? Kohanim were busy cutting animals. Leviim were busy singing songs. What's the connection? Very simple. The person who came to bring Korban, he brought it because some people bring Korbanot because they sinned. Korban Hatat, right? They bring a Korban because they sinned. This person that sinned, how does he feel? Horrible. He sinned. Now, we're afraid he might feel depressed. Are you allowed to feel depressed? Very bad. No good to feel depressed. So what do? The Levim start to sing while he's in the Beit HaMikdash bringing the Korban. Why? We don't want you to be in a depressed state. So we're going to rejuvenate. And again, the type of singing and the type of instruments they had, the Gemara says, you never heard a song unless you experienced it in the Beit HaMikdash. So imagine how much you love Taylor Swift now. Right? How much more if you would hear the Leviim sing, it's put Taylor Swift to shame, lahavdil, to even mention them in the same sentence. Right? Puts them to shame. So that's why they needed to sing at the moment we bring Korban. We get into a rejuvenated state and we leave the Beit HaMikdash. We're not so depressed, we're not so sad. We got happy, and we can continue to serve Hashem. How many of you heard of Yonah? Was he a prophet?
Yes.
You know he was never supposed to be a prophet. You know where he got his prophecy from? He found himself one time in the Beit HaMikdash during Simchat Torah, during Sukkot. Sukkot, in the Hol HaMoed, we have days that are called Simchas Beis HaSho'eva, which is, they used to make a party in the Beit HaMikdash, where there will be, it's like a circus. The rabbis would make like a circus. Songs and singing and fun and dancing. The Gemara says, you've never been to a party if you didn't experience such a party. Yonah finds himself there in a happy state, singing, good music, by good artists, proper instruments. And at that moment, Hashem gives him prophecy. To go to Nineveh and tell them to do teshuvah. Because prophecy is only given at a state of happiness. Prophecy is something we can experience today. What is prophecy? Clarity.
Because?
Yes. You ever needed clarity and you got the answer you were looking for? That's prophecy. That's a very low level of prophecy. So that's why when you pray to Hashem, you pray, Hashem, give me prophecy. What are you asking for? Ruach HaKodesh.
I have a question.
Help me see clear. Yes.
Let's say sometimes, like out of the blue, someone will say something, and like 10, 15 minutes later, that actually happens. What does that mean?
It means good things.
But like, it's not like hallucinations. Like
No. It means good things. You ever thought of a person after a long time, then you saw them
Yeah.
5 minutes later? It's a good sign. You know what else is a good sign? If you sneeze during praying the Amidah. The Ben Ish Chai says if you sneeze during praying the Amidah, your prayers get answered.
Oh, that's
Where do you think they got it from? Aksharos. They got it from the Kabbalah. The Ben Ish Chai brings it down. Yeah. A lot of things that Bukharians say, it's sort of rooted in Kabbalah. You know, I used to be in a kollel in Bet Gavriel. We sat down, we jotted down on a paper all Bukharian superstitions. All. The knife fell, the salt fell, he fell, the she fell, the shoe fell, the baby fell. All the Bukhari. You can't shake a hand in between the door. What else is there?
In between the door?
Yeah. You can't pass a baby over the... By the way, that's not a superstition. You should never pass a child because there used to be a korban, molech, I think it's called. There was a certain craziness that people had. They used to sacrifice their children. That was a way to serve their God. No, mishugaim. What would they do? They would pass a child over the table, and the table was filled with fire, and that was a sacrifice to their God. That's craziness. But that's a real thing, yeah. Oh, stepping over someone, you won't grow, you'll stay short. I want to tell you a story. Can I tell you a story? Me and my cousins, I grew up with three of my main cousins that I grew up with, a little older than me. And we used to step over each other all the time. They are 6 feet and taller, and Baruch Hashem, nothing happens. So it's a big superstition, yeah. But I will tell you that a child, I'm going to do more research. It's a little gray for me. I'm going to look at my notes over. I gave a class on this a long time ago, but they do say that a child who can't speak, he's 5 years old, 4 years old, you hear such situations, the child cannot speak. One of the ways to help him speak is if he steps over you or you step over him. I will look more into it. I know I have it in my notes, but that's one of the things that, maybe that's where they got it from, But yeah, all these Bukharian superstitions, so the kollel, and we jotted down, and we looked for sources. And I want to tell you, 80% of things that Bukharians, the superstitions, they're rooted in Kabbalistic sources.
Some of them actually work.
For sure.
But why? If it's not...
What works? What are you asking?
Basically, my mother as a kid, she used to get nosebleeds. So my grandmother took her to a lady, and it was like a thing inside you that they would do in Bukhara, where they would put a key on them, they would put it to the back of their neck and flip it. She was a kid, like she locked it. After that, she never, and my mother would always get a nosebleed. After that, she never happened. Her sister, the same thing. The lady did it to her. She did it to the neighbors' kids. So where does that come from? Like, why does Hashem give that power to
Kabbalah.
It's like an actual...
A woman who cannot give birth, they should wear a key from the cemetery around their neck.
What's a cemetery?
Cemetery. Why?
Like to the cemetery?
To the cemetery. Go to the cemetery. Say, I need a key. Copy of the key. I'm not coming in. I'm not sneaking out in the middle of the night playing with playing cards with them in Monopoly. I need a key from the cemetery. Don't ask too many questions. I'll pay you whatever you want. You wear the key. Rav Nachman says, the source in Kabbalah, that she will give, she'll have a baby.
That's a 1% towards.
What? Wear it. But a lot of things that are like, whoa, what is this from? They mean things, and other things. Or you have green tea, and the green tea have leaves, and some leaf just sticks up. Oh, ghost придет.
Is it true?
No, because I have it always in my green tea, and until I call someone, no one comes, right? So there's certain things that are like really like, yeah, come on, where'd you get this from? Certain things are from Muslims. For example, Chile. You heard of Chile? Chile is, you know Chile? What kind of Bukharians are you? Unbelievable. Chile is a couple that gets married. There you go. The kilos over here. The couple that gets married the first 40 days, you can't go anywhere. You can't go to weddings. You can't go to parties. Nothing. That's not a Jewish thing. It's a Muslim thing. The Gemara says that back in the day, Hatan and Kala for 7 days should not walk alone in the ark. Why? Because they are angels that want to hurt them. Why do they want to hurt them? Because Hatan and Kala, they're very holy. They just went through Yom Kippur. They just had Matan Torah. They have power to bless people. So the angels want to hurt them. But that was it. 7 days for Sheva Brachot, which is back in the day where angels, you're able to feel them and see them. Nowadays, nothing to worry about. But this whole 40-day Chile is a very Muslim thing. So again, you have very Jewish and good sources, and some things are from the left wing. Back to music. We're not expecting anyone to stop with cold turkey, but once a week, twice a week, you dedicate your time to only Jewish music. You'll feel and you'll notice differences and changes. You know, Shaul HaMelech, the first king of Israel, the father-in-law of David HaMelech, he, one time the Gemara says, had Ruach Shtut. Ruach Shtut is like a foolish spirit came into him, which, by the way, can happen today. Women, Rav Nachman says, should not find themselves, unless they need to, ever in the cemetery. No reason for a woman to be there. If it's going to visiting, once a year, grandma, grandpa, mama, papa, pseder. But just like that, to go to a cemetery, women should not find themselves in a cemetery. Why? Because cemetery is the home of the spirits, not good spirits. The spirits that can't go up to heaven. They're stuck in this world. And they need to get rectification. So what do? They attach themselves mainly to women. Men too can happen. It can happen too, but less. Mainly to women. So, Shaul HaMelech had a Ruach Shtut, had like a dibuk, evil spirit attach himself to him, and he went crazy. And they didn't know what to do. And his men said, bring us a singer who's going to sing songs to him personally, and it's going to help remove this evil spirit. Who did they call? David. They called David HaMelech. Before even David was his son-in-law. They called David, and little David brought his harp, and he started to sing. And what happened to Shaul HaMelech? Right away, the Ruach Shtut left. Because again, where is the source of the Ruach Shtut? Nachash. Nachash, letters down, is Zemer, is song. Songs have power to remove depression, negativity, anxiety from a person. But what type of songs? Depend, kosher artist. Someone who is singing and has his kavanah towards Hashem, and kavanah to help, kavanah that's positive. But if it's an artist who is filled with, drugs and jealousy and hatred and envy, this type of artist is only bringing us more negativity, more stress, more anxiety, more depression. Another story for you. David HaMelech had a hard life or easy life?
Hard.
If you ever noticed, one day you do homework. In the Tehillim, 150 chapters, you have certain Tehillim start with Shir, Hamalot. Certain chapters start with Mizmor David. Every chapter that starts with Mizmor David is sang by David in a very happy state. If you read in detail all the Mizmor Davids, you'll notice that it's always talking about David's problems. My son wanted to kill me. My other son wanted to kill me. My third son wanted to kill me. My father-in-law wanted to kill me. They thought I was a mamzer. My father didn't accept me. My brothers didn't accept me. Mizmor David is when he sang it the happiest. But they talk about the most depressing times of his life. Because David understood. You sing to Hashem and it heals it heals you when you sing to Hashem at your lowest moments in life. And when you take those lowest moments and you say, Hashem, I know this is for the good. I don't understand. I have I don't know why, but I know this is for the good. And this is where he was able to compose his best music at his lowest moments. Because it was all about perspective, right? It's all about how you see things. How you see the cup. Now, we said children. One time, I think it was with my oldest daughter. Very hard for my wife to put her to sleep. Then I tried. She would say, how do you do it? And then again, the next day, hard for her to put her to sleep. Then I would try. She said, how do you do it? I said, no, it was the time of Elul. My daughter, my first daughter was born in July. So, yes, right. So it was the time of Elul. So 2 months later, it was Slichot. Slichot is very musical. So 40 days men pray Slichot before Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. That's all on my mind. Just this musical Slichot. So when I would be putting her to sleep, that's my lullaby to her. And I said, try this. Try singing a song, a Jewish song. And she tried it, and she'll come down, you'll ask her. She tried it, and it works. Until today, that's the thing that works. Why? Because children, this is a holy song from, writings of holy people. And we said, the songs that the angels sing upstairs is the songs that they hear down here. The child hears that and wants to experience that again, and they start to fall asleep. It's very powerful. And the same thing goes for us. It's very healing, right? It does a lot of wonders. What happens when you start to sing? When you hear a song, you start to move your hands and feet. How do you say hand in Hebrew? How do you say leg, feet in Hebrew? Regel. Can you do me a favor? Can you write Yad in Hebrew on your paper? Yud Daled. I'm back to my Gematria stages. Can you put Regel in Hebrew? Reish Gimel Lamed. Okay, let's do math together. Who here likes math? Yad, Yud is? 14. Very good, 14. Regel is? 200. Reish is 200. Gimel is 3. Lamed is 30. 233 plus 14. 247. Did everyone get that? Okay, for Berta and Mrs. Baruchov. One more time. Yad. Yud is 10. Dalet is 4. 10 plus 4 is not 15. It's 14. Alright. Pass that one. Great level up. Reish. 200. Right. Gimel. 3. Lamed. 30. 200 plus 33. 233. Awesome. Now 233 plus 14. If you need help, raise your hand. 247. Okay. Now for the finale. What is the theme of today's class? Music. Zemer. Can you put you have Zemer in your paper. Zayin is 7. Mem is 40. Reish is 247. Wow. When you sing, you start to move your hands and your feet. Because they have the same gematria. This is from who? This has to be from Hashem. This is easy way to prove God. Song is the same gematria as leg and feet, because that's what you move when you sing a song, when you hear a song. It doesn't. There is Hashem out there, right? So you see that music is so powerful. Music has such effect on us. And whenever we need help, whenever we're not feeling well, what do? We play a song. What type of song? So again, if you're more the type, you know what your mission in life is? I'll tell you simply. If you're more the type that's very lightheaded, hee hee ha ha, making jokes, taking a serious situation to make it something light, your job is to be a little more Listen to music that are more soft and slow. Daddy, come home, right? Sing with me. Something that's going to make you cry a little bit. Something that's a little more depressing. That's your tafkid in life. You're going to hate it. Why? Because that's not who you are. It's the total opposite of you. But that's how you're going to calm yourself down. Because too much lightheadedness is not good. Too much of anything is not good, right? Who is too lightheaded in history? Ishmael. Right? Ishmael. Too lightheaded, and what happens? He was very promiscuous. Being too depressed and too sad and too to yourself, also not good. Why? It can turn to a lot of sins too. So what's your tafkid in life? You listen to upbeat music. To something more, who's upbeat in our Jewish literature? It's Benny Friedman. Listen to some Benny Friedman.
I don't really like.
Mordechai Shapiro. Oh, Mordechai Shapiro.
I don't really like Jewish music. That's upbeat.
Hey,
I know the controversial statement.
you don't like sad music? Happy, good. Good.
Yeah, I feel like Jewish music is not as good as some other non-Jewish songs.
Rabbi, can I make a suggestion?
Please.
Also? So Rabbi said to take like one day where you only listen to Jewish music. I think also what helps is, if you can do that, or if you could do that in addition, is fill up your non-Jewish playlist with Jewish music as well. And just like, never plays, just like let the Jewish ones go through also. And then the more you're like, oh, Jewish music, oh, this is actually a good song, oh, this or that, you'll add more and more, and slowly you'll hopefully also take away some of the non-Jewish music that, you don't connect to anymore, which hopefully you have no connect. So that's like, I think also your
Shkoyach. Beautiful. Yes, good. Again, depending on the type of music you like, we can tell the type of person you are. The Ben Ish Chai, if you want, you pass your papers up to me. I learned a little bit of this. I can't tell you from where and from who and what time of day I learned this, but you can tell a person based on his or her handwriting. What they need to fix, what they don't need to fix, how, what, where, when, why. One time I had a friend, this is my rabbi taught me. Now she's going to write extra neat now, watch. One time I had a friend who was really, really smart. I'm going to keep my comments to myself, but...
No, that's not fair.
I welcome all
Then you're
responses.
just judging us without even telling us what we need to do.
I don't have
That's
good
Lashon Hara
handwriting.
in your brain.
No, everyone take no one tells no. Guys, we need to know. We need to know. Wait,
Yeah, I don't know.
I can repeat.
What are you trying to
Who's Angelina Rachel Abramoff?
Oh, wait,
And whose is this?
No, not until he says what's wrong.
It's
Are
like
you
too
ready to
personal.
Wow.
Okay, Rabbi, you
Very
have to
good.
tell her.
I always wanted. I love when people tell me like, "Oh, this is something you need to work on."
So I'll tell you what the Ben Ish Chai did. Then maybe we'll do this after class. The Ben Ish Chai, he knew how to tell based on handwriting. If you write neater when you write smaller, as opposed to when you write bigger, don't say it out loud.
Okay.
Don't say it out loud, because I don't want Lashon Hara in my head.
You know the one that's your heart is house. His house is
The Ben Ish Chai says, so there were two Sofrim. Sofrim is a scribe. They came to the Ben Ish Chai. They said, Rabbi, look, when I write small, I write neat. When I write big, I don't write so neat. And my friend is the complete opposite. When I write big, I write neat. When I write small, I write not so neat. What's harder?
Right, smaller.
And neater. The Ben Ish Chai says, if you, again, please don't, yeah, that's me. If you write neat, if you write neater when you write bigger, as opposed to when you write smaller, that means you have a very big neshama.
Wait. Can you repeat that again?
If you write neater when you write bigger, as opposed to when you write smaller, it means you have a very big neshama.
And if it's the other way around, you
I thought it made you like a big ego or something.
If you write, meaning big means to say a lot of potential. If you write neater, if you write smaller and not so neat when you write bigger, that means that you were born and you were born with
Something.
right. With 2 eyes and a nose. You were born with a smaller soul, but because you know how to write neat. There's people who don't know how to write neat at all. But because you know how to write neat when you write small, that means that you're going to be proficient in taking the small challenges in your life, and you're able to overcome them much quicker.
What if someone doesn't write neat at all? Like big or small?
What about spotted?
Work on your handwriting.
What's spotted?
Wait, so someone who writes it in white small. They wrote with the smaller symbol.
But it has the potential to make it big.
What are you
I
talking
think Rabbi just added that part of
No, chas v'shalom. Come, I show you in the notes.
Wait a second, what does it mean if someone can't write
Handwriting, handwriting.
How many here are lefties?
I don't know anymore.
How do I write? I type. That's why I type.
Who's a lefty?
There's a reason why there are lefties and there are righties in the world.
Yeah, why are there lefties?
I can't say. I can't say.
They are. You know how many righties are in the world? There's very little lefties. Very little. No, Russia is trying to do lefties righties.
Yeah,
no idea.
What's the called? Who said that guy? Like lady for Yaakov.
Wait a second, right? Lefties are so special though.
She's a what is she? She's a
Provider.
provider came
They are.
for Yaakov, and she gave him a marker to write with, and he puts it in his left hand. And she was
Really? That's what we did with our brother.
bro, he's a lefty, let him, you know?
I did that with my brother.
All right, Rabbi, so let's conclude.
What is she?
Wait a second, what is it?
Ashkenazi Jews. I can't say publicly.
No.
See, you can't say privately either, because he didn't say privately either.
Okay, so what about a writer? Can you say? What if someone's a writer?
What if we turn off the water?
It's not that. It's not appropriate.
Can't do that, Rabbi. You sound already.
Not appropriate.
Yeah.
Let's finish.
It's okay, we're not gonna get offended.
I'll tell your Hatanim. He'll tell you.
Okay, guys, everyone.
Let's conclude, Rabbi said. Okay. Rav Shach was a rabbi who lived 107, 112, some say. He was the Rosh Yeshiva of Ponevezh Yeshiva, one of the biggest yeshivas. Rav Shach, he had many children, Baruch Hashem.
What is disappointed? I don't know what is it.
He had many children.
No, I'm not leaving the middle class. I'm not even done yet.
You tell her, girl. Rav Shach.
She's not killing. Okay, can you please?
Rav Shach. You notice movies also, they have, every movie more or less has songs in it. Movies that don't have songs are very boring.
Yes.
There's reason to that. Right, exactly. There you go. So you see, our music is very in touch with our emotions. So Rav Shach had many children, Baruch Hashem, all of which went on the right path, except for one child. One child he was a journalist in Israel. And his students said, Hashash Rabbi, why one of your sons is not religious? All of your children are rabbis, are holy. He says, I'll tell you what. Every time I would sing Shabbat songs on Shabbat, this son would leave. He would always have something to do. He would always do something else and not listen to the songs on Shabbat. Because you see how powerful it is to sing songs at home, sing songs on Shabbat. Because why? The songs we sing on Shabbat were created by who? The greatest rabbis. The Arizal wrote songs, Moshe Alkabetz, greatest rabbis who had purity and goodness from their heart, and they infused that energy to the song. And when we sing it and we listen to it, that's what we're infused with. When you move into a new house, you make a Hanukkah Tabayit.
Yes.
What is that for? You cleanse the house from the energy. Rabbi, they just built the house. No one lived in the house. Doesn't matter. There was a painter, there was a builder, there was a floor guy. The painter, who knows what he was going through? His wife, kicked him out of the house last night. He's sitting there painting. Titakaya, tisikaya. You know what I mean? He's painting. He has this negative energy painting your walls. I don't know, this Hamasnik, right? Painted these walls. We don't know what he's thinking about. the floor guy, he got his old job. It was they cheated him. He's sitting there cursing, so now you're coming to live in this house. What's happening to you? You're feeling that. You're feeling it. So you do Hanukkah Tabah. You cleanse the house, so that way you infuse new energy. That's why we tell the owners of the house when they enter the house after the Hanukkah Tabah, you enter with your right foot. And you enter with only good thoughts and positive thoughts, so that way everything good comes into the house. It fills up the walls with good thoughts. So too with music. It's very important who wrote the song, what his intentions were. All our prophets, all of them, they did not experience prophecy, except for Moshe Rabbeinu. They only experienced prophecy through song. They had instruments always. Every prophet, the Gemara says, walked around with instruments. Flutes, harps, this one, that one, different instruments. Why? Because in case they found themselves at a place where they got upset, they got angry, they would go to the corner, play a nice song, get their mood back up, and they got divine intervention from Hashem. So music can help us with clarity. You're feeling down, you listen to a good song. You need a certain answer. Many times before I go to pray, I put a song on that can help me get into my prayer. And the prayer that I have after listening to a song by a proper artist and a proper song that helps me connect to Hashem more, because the words are talking about Hashem, and it's a different prayer. It's a completely different prayer. And Rav Nachman says, if you're ever looking for an answer that you need in your life, you pray while you're listening to a song. A good song. A Jewish song. You pray while listening to a song, you can get many answers in your life answered. Very powerful. Very, 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 very powerful. Music is its own therapy, right? You don't need to go to a therapist. Listen to proper music. No. Right, take that back. Many kids, they say, with this we finish. Many kids, they say, the teacher says, your child has ADHD. Your child has ADD. Your child has this. You know why? The research has done that children, they watch mulziki. In the mulziki, they have songs. Those songs are not from pure places. And that affects the child. And it affects the child in his inside. He has this ADHD. His neshama he doesn't know where it's coming from. It's coming from those songs. They say that a pregnant woman she has to be very careful what she listens to, because they affect the child. And they did study that they took one woman and another woman. They said all your pregnancy you listen to certain genre, rock. Another woman, classical music. They saw that the child that was born was very hyper from the rock and very calm and mellow from the classical music. And they did this also study with plants. Right? This you heard it before. They put one room, rock music, the plant died. They didn't even start to grow. The other plant with classical music was very beautiful. And I saw a quick research I want to share with you, just for those who like science. Rabbi, you told us what the Torah says, but what does science say? So I have something for you too. For all the scientists in the room, look what he says here. That there's certain dopamine that gets released, and certain dopamine that gets released from our body from listening to music. Right here. Oxytocin, it's called. It's a love hormone, which makes us more inclined to engage in social interactions and build trust between people. That's why men cannot listen to women sing, because song, you start to connect to the person, because it's soul. So soul is music is the language of the soul. You start to connect, and we don't want guys to start connecting to women that are not their wives.
Then you don't want women to connect to God.
Very good. So now, how come it's allowed that women are allowed to listen to guy music? Because women are not so, what's the right word? They're not so easily swayed by this, by this specific effect. Men, very easily. So once men start to listen to women, especially they know how she looks like, there is a shita that Rav Avadi allows men to listen to woman music as long as she doesn't know how she looks like. He doesn't know how she looks like. He has nothing to connect to, nothing to put an image on. That's fine. Better not to, but it's okay if you do. But because woman brings closeness and it releases certain chemical reaction in your brain, which is binding, which is connects two individuals together. Yeah, there's a lot here. I can send you this article that was done, but there is a lot here. And he says over here, it's very dangerous to sing non-Jewish songs to children. It can affect them in a very negative way, and also playing non-Jewish music in front of children. Now, for all the people who have sometimes fathers coming home grumpy, or if you're married, husbands coming home grumpy, one thing Rav Nachman says and advises to do is you put on music in the house. You put on music in the house, it makes the whole room, the whole atmosphere very light, very calming, and that anger gets subdued, and you start to forget. You get into a good mood, right? Your children are going wild, what do? You put a song. All of a sudden, everyone's dancing and clapping. And Rav Nachman says, in Lukutei Maharan, in Parashat Mishpatim, Lukutei Torah rather, in Parashat Mishpatim, he says, if a person feels heavy, a lot of judgment, what should he do? I told you this once. You should clap and lift his feet. Because regel and yad is the same gematria as zemer, which is song. Nachash, the lower letters of nachash is also zemer, song. Because the way nachash is able to overpower us is with not proper music. And music that was taken from a non-Jewish song but has Jewish lyrics is good music. It actually fixes. It's called chokhmat goyim. The Baal Shem Tov says there's something you can learn from everyone, even goyim. When you take it and you channel it to Hashem. So again, if you ever find yourself humming or singing a non-Jewish song, you're like, uh-oh, now I'm bringing in bad Wi-Fi. What do? Right away connect it to a mitzvah. Do something for your mother. Do something for your father. Do a mitzvah. Where you connect that song to a positive source. What do? That Levi that sang in the Beit HaMikdash, and because the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed, we don't have that source of music anymore. That spark that's in that song, in proper song, you fixed it. You fixed it. So yeah, Rabbi Isai, singing song is not a simple thing. It's rooted in very spiritual things, and it's very, very, very connected to our neshamot. A year ratzon that we dedicate this class to all those who are not married that should get married. Amen. And in your wedding, we should be playing only good music. Kosher music. Thank you so much for your attention.
On that note, guys, Orot has a very late but very special gift for Rabbi and Mrs. Aminov. Thank you guys for opening up your home to us. Thank you guys for...
Aww. But that's not why we're giving it.
That's not why we're giving it. We're giving it for the birth of your child 7 months ago.
Oh, that's your question.
How old is he? 8.5 months ago. It was a little late. We had a lot of fun things happening at Orot, so we weren't able to get to you guys earlier. But these are just some cute things that Orot chipped in to get you, as well as a card. So, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Is it a link? Oh. Yes.
You like heavy gifts, no? You like heavy gifts.